speak to core fundamental principles about freedom, about the limitations of where the state should be in our lives, about the role of states in moving things forward, and about basic pragmatism. And when a Republican does that, they can sometimes speak with a greater moral clarity than most Democrats I've heard speak on this. And it's also easy when you're already out of office. Not easy. It's still not easy when you're out of office to speak to this. But when you're in office, an elected official, how few actually speak truth to power. Well, one guy did, beginning in 1999. He had just won his second term for a governorship in New Mexico. His name is Garry Johnson, and he transformed the dialogue in America, and he's out there today. The law tells me that I cannot tell you what he is doing this week, tomorrow, and next month. But he is stimulating and enlivening the debates and the dialogues about drug policy in America. Garry Johnson.
I can't tell you what I'm doing. I'm running for President of the United States. And I'm trying to get the Republican nomination to do that. I am a classical liberal. Wikipedia classical liberal, and that's somebody who believes in less government. Wikipedia classical liberal, and that is somebody who believes that the best thing that government can do for you and I is to empower you and I as individuals to make decisions that only you and I should make. And that's the bedroom, and that's what we put in our own bodies, and that goes on and on and on. Freedom and liberty. Last week, 50% of America supports legalizing marijuana. That means this is a discussion now that takes place with level eyeballs, not somebody looking down on you going, don't you understand that that's just going to lead to more kids doing drugs? No, that's not the case, and the reasoned argument that accompanies that. This is an issue that does really, really well when subjected to the light of day, and all of you have been doing that. All of you have been taking on this argument, and we're now at 50%. I am asked, what's the reason why it's not legal? Let me tell you the reason why. 50% of Americans support legalizing marijuana. Amongst the universe of politicians, 0% of the universe of politicians support this notion. There are a handful of politicians that support this, but statistically, they don't even make up 1%. Can you think of any other area of public policy where there's that kind of disconnect? I can't. If just 5% of the universe of politicians supported this notion, marijuana would be legal. I went down to Occupy Wall Street a couple of weeks ago. Yeah! I am outraged at the fact that this country doles out favors to those individuals that are well connected politically, whether they're individuals, whether they're groups, or whether they're corporations. This country is not fair. What this country can provide is a level playing field for all of us to enjoy the opportunity that we have in this world. So when you look at the root of all evil in this country, I have to tell you, I think it's politicians. I think it's politicians that are going to elect me, and I'm going to save you from terrorism. I'm going to save you from poor health care. I'm going to save you from retirement. I'm going to save you from the illegal immigrant. I'm going to save you from drugs. Just elect me, and I'm going to make sure that that happens. That needs to change. If I'm elected President of the United States, I'm going to pardon all nonviolent federal convictions for marijuana. I did this when I was governor of New Mexico. It was an easy process, And what it did is it enabled a whole lot of people who had served their sentences to be able to live their lives going forward and enjoy the opportunities that this country does have to offer. I will also tell you that as President of the United States, I get to appoint the Attorney General. I get to appoint Health and Human Services Secretary. Marijuana being listed as a Schedule I narcotic will no longer be the case in this country. And by the way, if I am elected President of the United States, what is America shouting to Washington? We want drug reform, and we want it now. I am not being allowed in all of these debates right now. I don't think it's fair that when you're not even in the poll that you can't be in the debate where it's determined you're showing in the polls. But if I were, and I've been in a couple, here's the voice that I give. They all talk about border violence and adding guns to the equation in lieu of looking at the root problem for violence, which is prohibition. Legalize marijuana and arguably 75% of the border violence with Mexico goes away. These are disputes that are being played out with guns rather than the courts, and everybody's solution to the problem, let's add more guns. Look, we legalize marijuana in this country. We take giant steps forward toward rational drug policy, which starts with the fact that we look at the drug problem first as a health issue rather than a criminal justice issue. No matter where I go, at some point when I'm speaking, that's the marijuana guy. And I'm asked, do you think that's a deterrent? No, it's not a deterrent. Look, the problems that this country faces right now need to be looked at, issues first, politics last, and in 1999, looking at this issue, going back to that point in time, this was about and it still is, politically, about the worst thing that you can possibly do is actually go out and look at the drug issue, then advocate for the legalization of marijuana, and then go out and defend that. And so, yeah, I hope everybody looks at me as the marijuana guy, and I hope they go from one topic to the next and recognize that everything I'm saying on every single topic actually has a foundation in policy and truth and not politics. Thank you all for your activism. Thanks for making that 50%.